Witnesses? Yes, sir. I trust you were listening to the defense's closing argument? Yes, sir. These formalities do little more than waste time. Answer me promptly and clearly. A third bullet was present at the crime scene. Explain this. Yeah, well, you see... Did you fire it, or did you not? No way. So you're saying there was someone else there with you? You gotta be joking. We ain't got nothing more than the two... Wait, we ain't nothing more than two best brothers, innit? What happened to that third brother they were looking for? The guns found at the crime scene fired 2 bullets in total. So, where is the gun that fired the third bullet? Defense? Sir. I would like to hear your thoughts. What do you make of this third bullet? Whose gun fired the shot? If I think about all the testimony and evidence presented so far, I should be able to answer. What happened in the pawn shop? I believe the third bullet shows us that they had another gun. It has nothing to do with it. There was a co-conspirator. Yeah. They had an accomplice. The tin fillers brought a third conspirator into the shop. Eh? They've been trying to hide the truth about this third party. But he was the third person with a gun on the night of the crime. A third person. Preposterous. The court is preparing to conclude its second closing argument. It's too late to claim that there was another man at the crime scene without some evidence. If you can't provide decisive evidence, your claim is worthless. Ugh. The prosecution demands 2 answers from the defense. First, prove that there was another person at the scene that night. Second, tell us the identity of this so-called third party. The tin pillars are definitely lying. But I don't know how I'm going to prove the identity of their co-conspirator. Can you do it, defense? I need to prove both the presence and the identity of this third party. In response to the prosecution's demands, the defense is prepared to answer. Damn right. I understand. The defense is ready to answer all of your demands. Your darting eyes betray your indecision despite your bold words. Now is the time to choose. Will you cast aside your indecision, or will you drown in it? No matter what, the only way is forward. I should look at all the evidence I have and think this through. The court requests evidence from the defense. On that night when the crime occurred, what evidence shows that a third party was present at the scene? Oh, the third party was the one that got shot, and their blood is on the calendar. Blood samples. Fuck, where are they? Where are they? Oh, there we go. I'm an idiot. I've got your evidence filed right here. Those samples again. Naturally, we require a more detailed answer. Which of those samples proves the existence of a third conspirator? Not that. This one. What on earth is this? There's some odd little green stain around the bullet hole. That is a blood stain, my lord. Blood? Really? What idiocy. Green blood? Are we meant to conclude that some life form other than a human is involved now? This is one of Sherlock Holmes' inventions. Mr. Holmes? I don't remember this part from the novels. Oh my god. We still don't have a name for this, but this chemical changes colour in reaction to the makeup of people's blood. The makeup of their blood? The makeup of everyone's blood is just slightly different, you see. Just one glance at the colour and you can tell whose blood it is. Oh, now we're really thinking in the third dimension. This is so exciting, my heartbeat won't stop rising. As it turns out, this is Hatch's blood. What a beautiful tint. In other words, what this green bloodstain is showing is that someone was definitely shot here. Objection! We don't know if this green blood is related to the case. We do know. Look at the date. The day of the murder is shown on the calendar that the bullet was lodged inside. Ah. So naturally, it must have made its way into the calendar during the crime. And whose blood is it? There are no signs of the Tin Pillar brothers having been shot, therefore there must have been a third party who left this bloodstain. You claimed that you could reveal this third party's identity. Answer at once. Who is this third intruder? Yes, says so. There he is, Egg Benedict. An imperious young man with the appearance of a gentleman stormed into Hatch's shop accusing Gina of stealing his pledge ticket. I don't think it's his real name though, he's not called Eggs Benedict. That person's name is Egg Benedict. What manner of man is this Egg Benedict fellow? He was a customer that visited the pawn shop on the afternoon of the day of the crime. He was there when the defendant tried to steal this from the pawnbroker. Is that right? Correct. And this man who calls himself Egg Benedict tried to steal it from the defendant, but he failed. Shopkeeper? Yes. This wretched pickpocket just redeemed a pledge from you, correct? Well, yes. That belongs to me. I demand its immediate return. You're lying. I don't know what you're yapping about. Now return that coat to me. Oh, and I ask that you return that music box disc as well, of course. Inspector Gregson, you should have seen him as well. After all, you were the one who confiscated the disc. Is this true, Inspector Gregson? Yes it is. I had Hatch Winterbank give me a picture of the man in case the need arise. It's a picture taken by the automatic crime recording device. That's definitely the same man. So this man is the third intruder. What do you have to say to that, Mr. Tin Pillar? We ain't got the foggiest 2 years, bruv. We ain't never seen him before, bruv. I suppose these two criminals are going to pretend he doesn't exist. Where's the proof, Japanese boy? As I recall, you said you could prove the identity of the third intruder. I can. Come on, show us the evidence. Yeah, if you're going to incriminate him, where's your evidence? This is the final piece of evidence. This whole trial, I felt like something was missing. Now is the time to finally show it to the court. Defense, are you prepared? I am. I will now present my evidence. Here's the evidence that this man is the intruder who was shot by the third bullet. Blood samples again. That evidence is filed right in here. You're presenting the blood samples again? It seems your lust for blood drove you to examine the scene thoroughly, Japanese boy. I demand another answer from you. Reveal the sample that proves this man was hit by the third bullet on that night. Okay, so sample number 4. There we go. Same blood. There you go. I've said this once already. The defendant tried to illegitimately withdraw this disc on the day of the crime. That's when this Egg Benedict fellow appeared. And he tried to steal it, correct? Yes, my lord. I was there when it happened. There was a little incident at the time. Yeah, we had to do a great deduction. It was great. Do-do-do. Of course, Mr. Benedict. Here you are. Very well. I will leave it at that for now then. Good day. Oh, hold on a sec. That pledge. It's mine. Oh yeah, that's mine. Oof! What are you doing, you stupid girl? Look, you've made me bleed. There are many metallic pins engraved into music box discs. Mr. Benedict got a small cut on his finger from one of those sharp pins. His blood is still on this disc. Why, so it is. This really is blood. The defense has just examined this bloodstain, and it would appear it's the same colour. Using this baby here, of course. And this was the result. Whoa. Green blood. It's the exact same colour as the sample from before. This is my evidence. Take it or leave it. The evidence of the third intruder at the scene of the crime. It was the man who calls himself Egg Benedict. There really was a third intruder. Those Tin Pillar brothers look like they're seeing a ghost. Oi, bring that coward to the stand. My lord, please. Call this Egg Benedict to stand as a witness. Indeed, it would be wrong to ignore this man's existence. It's tragic that you've managed to come so far despite being so clueless about the law. Sherlock Holmes. I've heard that name before. The protagonist of a popular novel, a detective so great that he'd seem to be a god. You're saying you used a chemical developed by a fictional character. Such dubious rubbish can hardly be called evidence. And the bloodstain turned green after reacting to this chemical. How do we know that this reaction is exclusive to one man's blood? Well... Oh. Because Mr. Holmes said so? Surely even you wouldn't say something so foolish. Cut yourself. What? Seems that way, isn't he a detective anyway? Poppycock. I still think it's worth pursuing. I didn't even get to read what it said. Douchebags. So what was this? What, you mean Mr. Holmes' invention isn't any good? Seems that way, isn't he a detective anyway? Poppycock. I think it's still worth pursuing. Oh, it's worth pursuing. I knew it would turn out like this. Society still hasn't acknowledged Mr. Holmes' invention. But there's no other hill for me to die on. What was it that Beardy said earlier? He said something about stopping the closing argument for now. Huh? So doesn't that mean... the closing argument still isn't over, right? What? And there are only a few people who can continue a closing argument. There's those 6 jurors, you know? So... whether Holmes' drug is fact or fiction, it doesn't actually matter right now. Oh, of course. You may look innocent, but you certainly are a frightening little girl. There's only one question now. When it comes to Ryu's argument, what do the 6 people over there think? That's all there is to it. So, am I wrong? I'm speechless. Mr. Holmes' partner really came through. Bang. Though I am rather shocked by who pointed it out. Yeah, 10-year-old. It is true that the closing argument reached no proper conclusion. It can't be. The court seeks a final verdict from the jury. Ooh! I expect an unwavering conclusion befitting the citizens of our fine land. I wonder, will they be split? Now, jury, state your verdicts. Not guilty. Oh, they are! Okay, yeah. That's pretty cool. Yay! I win. 2 vote guilty, 4 not guilty. This thus concludes the closing argument. This is absurdity. I refuse to accept a verdict like this. Would you care to elaborate? These fools were swayed so easily by an amateur detective's suspicious chemicals. They're unfit to pass a just and proper verdict. There's only one conclusion revealed by this verdict, Lord Van Zieks. It reveals that I cannot pass judgment at this moment in time. Oof, that's twice. Right in the pride. However, we now face a new problem. The defense has demanded a new witness be brought to the stand. But I don't expect this to be a simple affair. Why not? Egg Benedict is clearly a pseudonym. No. Just when I thought I could finally drag the third intruder in here. Pardon me, may I ask a question? Oh, but of course. Who wishes to speak? It was me. Juror 5. Is something the matter? Excuse me. Inspector? Me? Could you show us that photograph again? Oh, this one? The one with Egg Benedict. I know him. I was right. My eyes weren't playing tricks on me after all. Excuse me, Juror 5. Do you perhaps know this man? Yes, I do. What? My god! Order in the court. Oop. Juror 5, as I recall, you are... Yes, I'm a technician. I suppose you could say I'm a telecommunications expert. Telecommunications? Oh god, she's all like, look at that! The man in this photo is a technician working at the same telegraph office as me. Have you got a thing for him? In fact, he happens to be incredibly skilled. I'm sure he's busily buzzing away at work right now. Huh. I'm starting to get an odd feeling about this. For an intruder, I was expecting him to have a more evil job. It's a little surprising that he's just a normal guy with a normal job. Yeah, I suppose. Is that the source of my discomfort? If he works at the City Bureau, I'm sure we can summon him within the hour. Any objections, Lord Van Zieks? No, my lord. The court orders you to summon this man post-haste. Understood. The court will now enter a 1-hour recess. We will await the arrival of our next witness before requesting his testimony. Inspector Gregson? My lord. I would like to ask you the details of what happened in the pawn shop that day. As soon as we break, come to my office at once. I shall, my lord. Court is now adjourned for recess. So now is the real choice. What do I do? Do I stop and finish this game next session? Do I continue and finish the game today? Bum bum. I think I'm going to. I enjoy this game far too much. I wouldn't be able to blue bar myself. Not on a cliffhanger like that. I want to see where this goes. I am most intrigued. And it's, it'd be a good place to, or a good thing to do, because then the game will be done, and I don't have to remember what happened. Alright, let's do it. Oh boy. And back we go. Trial 3. Wait, what? Oh, we're in lobby. Old Bailey, defendant lobby. Gina, good job hanging in there. I hate how I've gotten so used to seeing her like this. Gene Bean! You okay? You seem kinda down. Why? Why are you fighting so hard for someone gormless like me? Huh? You saw the photo? The photo? Oh, you mean this? Holmes's camera really didn't help us out here. Oh, there. I honestly didn't even know there was a photo like that. Anyone would say I'm done for after seeing this. I won't lie, my stomach started knotting up when it was presented. Even after all is said and done, you still want to say you trust me? Of course. Yeah, of course. Hey, Gene Bean, would you mind telling us something? What really happened that night? Huh? Ryu's been able to piece together a lot of the story. But if you'll tell us, I want to hear it from the horse's mouth. If she's willing, fine. That night, after we all ate at Holmes's place, I went with Iris and spoke with you, or with you lot in your gaff. Right, I remember that. After that, I couldn't catch a wink of sleep at all, so I went over to that pawn shop. I just had to check. This is about Iris's manuscript, right? The Hound of the Baskervilles. I don't know what kind of story it is, but I was sure it would have been pretty bad for Holmes if it got out. That's the reason why he fibbed about popping it at the pawn shop. At least that's what I thought at the time, so You broke into Hatch's shop. I just had to know if the manuscript was actually there or not, you know? Of course, I never thought things would turn out the way they did. I smashed the lock on the entrance and went inside. Everything was pitch black. So I lit the lamp on the table. After that... What are you doing? It's Hatch. I thought my heart was going to stop before I knew what I was doing. Oh. I'd snatched the gun from the counter and I was pointing it right at him. You're that girl from earlier today. Is this the sort of thing pickpockets are up to nowadays? The manuscript. The Sherlock Holmes one. Is it here? What in the world do you want? The Hound of the... Oh, the Hound of the Somethingvilles. If it's here, I want to see it. I'm sorry. Even if my life is at stake, I cannot hand over another customer's belongings. I don't want to nick it, I just want to have a look, is all. You want to see it? I need to know if Holmes actually left it here. Please, let me see the manuscript. Okay, I get it. Please, just put the gun down. Wow. The uncle unlocked the storeroom and the two of us went inside. The manuscript was actually there. Holmes was telling the truth. Gene Bean, did you do that for me? Suddenly I heard something coming from inside the shop. That must have been when the Tin Pillar brothers broke in. Did you hear that? Someone's out there. Good grief, is my shop an exclusive gathering place for miscreants tonight? Oh bugger, I forgot to close the bloody door after I came in. I'll take a look. Give me the gun. I should go too. Don't be daft. You stay here. Don't move a muscle. After he said that, he went and took the gun from me and left. I tried to hear what was happening from inside the dark storeroom when suddenly, I heard sounds of a struggle. I felt like I had to go ill. Right about when I was going to leave the room, 2 shots were fired. I think there were 2 gunshots. They fired almost simultaneously. And then he dropped like a brick, right in front of me. I rushed to shut the bloody door quick, and I locked it. You were worried that the culprit might have come in afterwards, right? I picked up the gun from the uncle's, and... Oh, and she fell asleep. If they tried to come in, I had to fight back. But when I looked down at him, I realised Or did she faint? She might have fainted. He was already dead. And then, the back of my head got really cold. She got hit! I can't remember anything after that. Either that she got hit or she quite literally passed out. That was when you fell unconscious, right? If only I hadn't been such a cock-up. Then Ash wouldn't have had to die for me. Did you tell any of this to the police? Of course I did, but nobody would believe me. Lying will only get you in more trouble, they said. What assholes. Don't worry, just hold out for a little longer. Rio will corner the culprit in a flash. Is it really him? Egg Benedict? We don't know. Maybe. Possibly. The bloke who looked down on me with that divvy grin on his face. He was looking at the shop that night. Oh! I still don't know his real name, but I have no doubt he's involved with the crime. Thanks for telling me all this, Gina. Huh? All that's left is to leave it to Ryu. You can sit back and relax. Naruhodo. Yeah? What is it, Gina? How can you still say that you trust me? Hmm? Have you already forgotten about everything that happened 2 months ago? Me and that bugger McGundle, we lied to you. And because of that, you ended up letting a murderer go scot-free. I'll never forget. Huh? I had no choice back then. And I still feel that regret to this day. But I promised you at the start, didn't I? No matter what happens, I'll trust you until the bitter end. But I could still be feeding you lies. You might be defending a murderer again, you know? Like you, I've also stood as a defendant in court before. Blimey. It was a murder case back in Japan. Don't say the victim. Even I knew that I looked suspicious. I had convinced myself that nobody would believe me. Wow. But there was one man who offered to defend me no matter what it meant for him. He was my best friend. Asugi! Naruhodo, is there anyone who trusts you more than me? Leave it to me. All you have to do is trust me. I was so happy that I started crying. But at that moment, somewhere deep inside me, I couldn't help but think. In truth, even he suspects me, doesn't he? But I was wrong. Once the trial started, he made it plain as day. He really did trust me. And gradually, my trust in him strengthened as well. That's when I realised, if I wanted others to trust me, I had to place my trust in them first. First, place your trust in others. No matter what happens, Gina, I trust you. You don't need to worry about a thing. Even though I'm a scathing, lying, dirty little tea leaf. Gina, you're different from McGundle. What? That's right, you're our friend after all. Iris. We know you very well. You can trust us, Gina. That's all there is to it. Yep. That's all you have to do. Yep. Naruhodo. Aww. Defendant, defense. The trial will resume shortly. Return to the Crown Court at once. Yes, sir. Let's do it. Defendant and defense. I've played both roles at least once. That's why I understand just how much it takes to truly trust someone, respect from the bottom of your heart. More to that, or more than that. I understand the weight of having someone else fully place their trust in you. Do, 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 do. And now the curtain rises on the final battle. I hope you're watching, Susato. And you too, partner. Aww. Okay, at least we didn't tell Gina who the victim was. I mean, there'd be no point to. It's just whenever that case gets brought up, I'm like, oh god, don't say anything. Especially now that I know that it was Iris's